Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody out there? Hope everybody is fine and dandy in the wonderful world out there. Well, today we're going to be playing with the new DLC for Planet Coaster 2. We're going to be playing with the Sorcery Pack and seeing what goes on there. We've also got free update number 7, which has come out as well. So we're going to be having a go at the new challenge mode, seeing how that suits us, seeing what's going on in the game, how it's changed, how it's advanced, how it's got better, has it got worse? Who knows? Only time will tell. So, for those of you who don't know, the DLC for Planet Coaster 2, the Sorcery Pack, came out on Tuesday at around 2 PM, which was unfortunate for us because we were on stream at the time, but it can't be helped. So, we're going to have a play around with it today. We're going to see what goes on. We'll jump in a sandbox, we'll play with some pieces, we'll have a go with the new coasters, and then we'll have a go at the new challenge mode. So if there's anything specific from this DLC that you'd like to see, or from Planet Coaster 2 in general, pop it in the chat and we will see what we can do. But in the meantime, shall we go and have a look at Planet Coaster 2? Okay. Here we are in Planet Coaster 2. It does look like my camera's decided to freeze, which is always helpful. Let's see what's going on there. Are you broken? Right, give me a second, because I appear to just be frozen at the bottom. So let's just check the settings on that. Is it even plugged in? I think it is. I think this is the right webcam. Let's have a look. Let's unplug it and plug it back in again and see if that fixes any problems. If not, we can always go to the laptop webcam, but it's just not as good. Oh well, we're on that webcam today. Let's move it back to where we can see what's going on. Get the size right. Wouldn't be a proper JG stream without some technical difficulties, would it? There we go. We're here. Not the webcam I wanted to use, but it's the one that we're stuck with. Right. Also, that seems to be clipped off slightly at the top, so let's just scale that down slightly so that we can fit the whole of the window on screen, because there's going to be dialogue boxes and stuff everywhere that we're going to want to see, so let's just make sure everything fits. There we go. So that can go there. That can go there. You know, a pro streamer would have had all this sorted beforehand, wouldn't they? But you haven't got one of them. You're stuck with me. So, here we go. We're going to jump into a sandbox park first. We'll just do a new random park. We will call it, I think we'll call it Sorcery Test. Seems like a good name. Let's have a look. Default sandbox. Yeah, we'll just stick it on a standard sandbox. Here we go. Let's go and have a look and see what we can see in the world of Planet Coaster 2. Here we go. So, we're here in our empty park. Nothing here at all. But we do have some new things. So let's start off with having a look at the new scenery. So let's look at our scenery first. We can change our specific filters so we can have just the sorcery theme. So here we go. Here are all our different pieces. We've got gargoyles. Oh, I'll have to zoom in a little bit to be able to see those. There we go. We've got gargoyles. We've got funky looking candles. Loads of different bottles. They're quite cool. Spider egg sacs, apparently. We've even got spiders, along with the different bits of spider, apparently. We've got little dragons that pop out of buildings. We've got all the parts of the spider separately. I will get rid of them from the screen for folks who aren't massive spider fans. Just wanted to show you that they exist. Right, what else have we got in here? We've got spider webs. They're quite cool. They could be quite versatile. We've got random pieces that we could stick on buildings, windows, some more statues here. If we come around this way, there we go. Lots of different statues. These are like for mounting on walls and things. And we've got... Ooh. Yep, so if I can remember what the controls are, there we go. Those... They are quite cool, aren't they? We've got cauldrons. We've got loads of stuff. Then we've got our standard building pieces. But this time we've got this, like, nice stone texture to it. What are they calling that? They're calling this the Sorcerer's Keep pattern, which is quite cool. Comes with some nice roof pieces. We've got crystals. Some nice lamps. Like the lampposts there, and then we've also got those in their individual little pieces, so if we wanted we could stick a light up there. We've got funky glowing green things, got some nice signs like that, they're quite cool. We've got some shop awnings, so those would probably look quite cool. We've got shop fascias as well for the little shop fronts. They're quite nice. Spider statues. Then we've got this other set, this townhouse brick, which will have door pieces and things to go with it. We've got bits of tree. So they're quite cool. Lots of different bits of broken tree and things. They're quite nice. What else have we got? We've got stone floor. Obviously we've got our little shop fronts. And our doorway pieces. Like that. So we've got quite a mix of different building pieces. I am just throwing these out. Please don't judge my building at this point. You can judge that later. Now we've got the same in this townhouse colour, with a variety of townhouse roofs. Look at the bump maps on that. It just looks so good. And then we've got special benches. We've got some animatronics. We've got a spellcaster here. We've got another spellcaster here. We've got another spellcaster here. I think they're our only animatronics other than the spider. Oh no, I remember seeing this one. We've got that as well, which moves. So they're all quite cool. I'm going to move away from those because they're quite noisy. And then we've got some new special effects. We've got magical smoke. We've got another magical smoke. We've got just a sorcery effect. And another sorcery effect. So can these be changed? Can we change any of the settings on here? So yes, we can change the colour of the smoke. So that can be whatever colour we fancy. And that seems to have changed them all. Don't know if that was intentional. Okay, so I wonder if we can change them all together. No, it doesn't look like we can. But that's looking quite cool. Right, so that's our scenery. Right, before we do anything else, we will just get rid of all that. Now, let's have a look in our blueprints. Again, we've still got that filter applied. So let's have a look what blueprints we've got. So we've got things like a cool archway here. Oh, it does have a spider on it, I can see. But that would make a really good area entrance into a part of the park. We've got another archway there. Yet another archway there. Okay, a doorway, end of a build. Oh, no, it's a full building, this one. Full little house there. And the building there. Let's zoom out a bit, then you can... Wow, that's quite tall. And another one there. So we've got loads of these fantastic buildings that are all fitting with the theme. That one's got a tunnel underneath it, which is quite cool. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we're going to have a good look and see what we've got. That is huge, but look at that. How amazing does that look? Just shows you what you can do with this scenery set, doesn't it? Let's have a look at some of the other. So we've got rocks and things like that. We've got use of the statues. And we've got some new shop ideas here. So we can go to the toilet in a crypt if we like. It looks like a crypt to me. So we could very easily, with this one, it says staff facilities, but what we can do is we can always look at our services, toilets, create custom. Where did toilets go? There they are. Body dryer, changing rooms, toilet cubicles. There we go. So we can make sure it's facing the right way. Just put toilets in there. There we go. We've got a sign on the front, but that doesn't really matter. We can just delete the sign. Let's go back into our scenery, into create custom. Let's type toilet. Taking off the filter for scenery items. There we go. I've got loads of different signs for toilets here. We don't specifically have a sign for this theme, I don't think, which is unusual because all the other themes seem to have signs that go with them, but apparently not this one. So we could just put one of those on there, couldn't we? Shrink it down like that. It's a shame they're not separate, those, and they're just on one, aren't they? But so we can't quite get in where I wanted it, but we could pop it up there anyway. There we go. We've built a toilet. How exciting. So yeah, the blueprints look really cool, really versatile. So that's those. Now we're on to the more exciting things. Let's start with the flat ride next. So we do have a new flat ride, which I'm going to have to try and find on here. Let's go on to create custom. Let's see, I have no idea where it's going to be on here. Where is it? Let's find it. Where are you, new flat ride? No, no. Where's it gone? Now we do have that one. And we've also got another one as well, which must be here somewhere. Where are you? Let's have a look, because I don't think it will. Oh, it will. It will let me filter by content packs, so I can find the newest rides. There we go. So, first of all, we've got our flying theatre. This has a huge footprint, but if we go to test it, we can see that where the people are going to come in, they're going to get on this ride. Everything's going to move. And if we just try and get the camera into the right spot, a film will appear on the camera screen, on the screen of the cinema. The people will move around in time to it. And it's one of those 3D effects, well, 4D I suppose they call them, don't they? Hi C, how are you? Lovely to see you. Great to have you here. Hope you're having a lovely time. Oh, you've just said you're going to work. Boo. Boo for work. But yes, I've been good. Hope you've been good too. So that's our cinema. We'll get rid of that because that makes noise. Now this thing, having seen this on some of the previews, looks terrifying. Now, I'm not a chicken when it comes to rides, I will pretty much go on anything usually. But this thing really does look quite terrifying. I can't help thinking what it would be like in the British weather, you know, when the wind's blowing and all you've got there is a load of cables. And is it going to swing around? And yeah, that just looks quite frightening. It really does. Yeah, boo work, but the sooner you've started, the sooner you'll finish. So you will escape the world of work soon. Right, let's have a look at what I think is the most important part of a new Planet Coaster game. It's the coasters. So here we go. We've got 3 blueprints, but we'll look at those after. We've got 3 new coasters. That's right, 3 new coasters. We've got the Outermax bike and sidecar coaster. Anybody who's been to Universal in Florida might recognise that from a certain area within Universal that I don't really want to spend too much time talking about. Then we've got the Outermax LSM Raid coaster, which offers swing tracks, dual direction launch pieces, and I will show you that shortly. And then we've got the Vector Child coaster, which is one that we're going to start with first. I could just whack a blueprint down, or we could just have a play. So let's have a play with our Vector Child coaster. So let's see what our lift hill options are. We've got a tyre hill or a tyre flat. We've got 3 different track types. We've got brakes. We've got a block section. Got all our standard non-inverted pieces and our stations. It's nothing massively new, so we can just stick something up there like that. Let's get it down to 0. We can then look at our different track pieces once we go on to standard track. So what are our options for our 3 designs of track piece? We've just got the track. We've got the track with a single support beam underneath. And then we've got the track with the support beam, and it looks like they've got brackets, different style brackets reaching onto them. So here we go. We can come down this. I'm sure it could be more complicated than what I'm about to make, but we will see where we get to. We'll do something like that. Take that out in a straight line. Any actual coaster enthusiasts are going to be telling me how unrealistic this is, but I don't care. I like building coasters. I never said I was good at building coasters. What I do normally do when I'm building coasters, though, is have them testing as I'm building them. Because that means I know that it's going to make all my leaps and bumps. We can whack in some of the standard bits. These also scale. There's no way it's going to make it up to there, but anyway. Zoom along around there. Bit of a turn on that one. Round this way. It's level it out. Give it a bit of an airtime hill there. Sweep it round that way. That wasn't an airtime hill, it was going far too slow. But oh well. Very, very, very long and slow little helix around there. Coming down a bit faster. And then into a tighter bend. Straighten you out there. And there. Join you up there. Now we'll get rid of some of these horrendous wiggles by smoothing it. Ooh, I didn't want to. There we go. Oop. There we go. Let's smooth that. Let's move it forwards. Then on none. There we go. Smooth that out a lot more. Stick some brakes on it. There we go. Are we still in testing mode? There we go, start the test. Let's hit done there. Just so that we can watch it run. We will stick an entrance. We'll stick on an exit. While it's testing. I should have told it that I don't care about power. Because I'm playing in sandbox mode anyway. So let's have a look for our power options. There they are. Let's just stick some large solar panels down. Let's stick down a power distributor, join them together. Lovely. There we go. It's got power now. We'll quickly chuck a little bit of a path going up there, which can go to the exit of that coaster. Then we will select a queue from there down to there. Wonderful. Now this coaster doesn't quite make it round, so what we will do is we'll go back, we will edit it. Now this hill that was too low, let's see if we can make it bigger, shall we? So let's just delete that, and then we'll delete a couple of those, and then on here we'll just take it up a bit more. Then when we bring it down with our coaster this way, we should be able to make it go quite a bit faster now. So let's get it to go all the way along there. Stick a little hill in it. Bank it off to that side. Let's try and get it round. That one. See if we can get it underneath without actually chopping people's heads off. Nope, that's too close. That will be an actual head chopper rather than a fake one. And then what we will do is we will smooth out that bit. Turn up the smooth strength. There we go. Now, let's see if it will work this time. And then if it will, we'll open it. I should imagine it will pick up enough speed this time. We shall see. How's it getting on? Obviously taking quite a bit longer to get to the top of the hill now that the hill's a lot bigger. The question is, will it make it all the way around? Let's have a look. And if it does, what sort of horrific rating are we going to get on this coaster that we've literally just thrown together? Let's see. It does look quite fast, that, doesn't it? But we'll see where it gets. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it might, actually. But the question is, will it do a complete circuit? Yes, I think it has. There we go. It made it all the way around and back into the station. What sort of rating did we get on that one? Are you going to tell me? Oh yeah, that's under testing, isn't it? So 3.35, 5.28 and 6, that's actually come out quite well. So there we go. That's one coaster open. As you can see, the cars are really simple, so we could really do lots and lots with those, editing those and changing those. So that's one coaster. We will take our path from there. Now, what I haven't tried yet is this conforming path. So it is supposed to conform to height changes now in the terrain, which it didn't do before. So let's have a look. So it really nicely has stuck to this, but to really check that out, we're going to have to move some of this terrain, aren't we? So let's just lower it down here. Nice and smoothly. And then we're going to try taking a path from there to there. And no, it didn't do that. Is that a separate option that we've got to do then? Straight with round corners, terrain style, aha. So we select conforming there and bring it over. There we go. So you can see that the path now will follow the contour of the terrain, which is amazing. I've wanted that for a long time. Anyway, we have another coaster to look at. So we're going to look at this coaster, and this is our LSM Raid. So this one is very cool, has proper switch tracks finally. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to set it off here. Now, I've not played with this, but I've had an idea of what I wanted to build. So we're going to have some launches here, which go straight up into... Now, I don't know if there is an actual top hat piece, but I'm hoping there is. Do we have an actual top hat? We do. So we've got a proper top hat there. So we're going to put that on. And then we'll figure the rest out in a minute. In fact, no, we won't. We will finish the rest now, because I need to just get this to go back round to where it's supposed to go to, so that I can put the right... In fact, let's get rid of those. Let's take it out from there. Let's make these pieces longer. Ooh, that's not the length one. That's my length one. Let's do this with longer pieces, because I tend to find that longer pieces are easier to keep a nice curve with. Just a personal thing. I know a lot of people build in 4 metre stretches because they like the fan control. I'm not that talented. So we just go with the limited skills at our disposal. But this will now come down here and get it to go to that. It should still be coming down, it is. We can probably put a couple of hills in. Now, it's only the mechanism of this park that I'm wanting to check, of this ride, sorry, that I'm wanting to check, not so much the main layout of it. But anyway, let's, with normal track, I want to build a standard utility track set. Right, now what I want is I want the switch tracks, but I want a specific one. I want it to initially go straight on. I want it, that one. That's the one I want. So I'll put that there. Now, I think I put the wrong launch pieces on here. So let's get rid of these. Because what I actually want is these. let's just make that one shorter. There we go, join that up like that. And then at this end, we will add another. Don't know how high it'll need to be, we'll try that. So now, if we test this, we should see that our coaster sets off, gets part way up the, almost to the top, good. Then it comes back. I think this must be something I have to check on the settings. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a quick, maybe it's in the operations element of this bit then. So let's finish editing it, let's check our operations. Right, let's have a look. Operation mode. No. How do we make it come back? Or is it the fact that I'm wanting it to go through I should be able to make it go through the station, surely. Let's see. Is the problem that it's not fully joined up? Let's try editing this. Bring that round to somewhere like that. That way with the new other curve on the other way. And in, that's quite a bit higher, so let's bring that down. And shorten that piece. Let's shorten the previous one actually. In fact, if we bring this piece out, that might be better to at least get them to hopefully join up. Let's have a look. Right, so on this one, oop, not that one, this one, let's shorten it. Right, let's delete that. How do I get this to actually meet? Or do we have to do it this way? Right, so we've got this bit. Let's now take this piece around let's just do that. And see if we can get it to roughly do what we've been looking for. See if we can get it to behave. Let's take that like that and see if we can get it to Now, let's delete those, because actually this is going to need to be flat. Then we're going to want some two-way things. A little bit of lining up. I don't know why it won't do it. Let's just go. So we've got 0 there. We've got I don't know. Anyway, I'm not spending ages and ages on a coaster. That might not even work. And that I don't actually want. So what we will do is we'll look at one of the blueprints. So let's look at the blueprints for the Automax LSM. Pop it in there. We will need to pop a distributor in, connect it up to our power grid. There we go. A little bit of a path here. Let's path there. Path there. It will need a test, because they do need a test. Might as well ride this one while we're having a test. Let's have a look, see where we get on. So here we go with our first launch, which goes up and over there. Round into our second launch, which doesn't quite make it. It rolls back. Takes a different path because of the switch track, with some more power pushing us up another vertical spike. And now we're going to have even more power as MLSM launches kick in again to take us up over the top hat. Just making it over the top as we then come thundering down that hill, up another one. Nice inversion there, dropping back down to the right way around, hooking around the side. Almost like a half corkscrew with a drop out, with a follow around to the right, over a little airtime hill, around into another inversion. Oh, it's quite a long stalled inversion there. Final, oh, not an inversion, just a little bit of a chicane thing going on there, as we then come round into the brake run, ending back into the station. Good evening, good afternoon even, Solarphonics. Hope you're good out there. We're playing Planet Coaster 2. We've got the new Sorcery Update DLC, so we've just been playing with one of the new coasters. We are just seeing what all these new roller coasters do. We've tried 2. We're just about to go on to the last one, which, if you know anything about the Universal parks in Florida, you might recognise the style of this coaster, even if you don't recognise the layout. But we do need to make sure that we've given it some power. Pop that in there. So yeah, this isn't an actual park that we're planning on building. This is just a sandbox to try out the new features of the game. I've just realised that I haven't actually had the game audio on for ages, so there we go. Now we can actually hear the game audio. But let's have a ride on one of these. Here we go. So we'll get ourselves in this. You tried it in VR. Wow. I think that might make me a bit nauseous. Just a little. But there we go. So here we are. So at some point we're going to set off, because we're currently in the station. So I don't know if I can control the camera. So you might notice it's a sidecar and motorbike, which is a universal design. So here we go, we're taking a little bit of a slalomy thing there, coming up here and round the corner here. A little bit of a launch coming up. Here we come with the second launch up and over here. Now I don't know if you can do a full inversion with this or not, but either way it's definitely got that nippy bike kind of thing going on. Oh, into a little brake run. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's a drop track. Okay. And we're shooting backwards out of the drop track. That's quite cool. Off we go out of the drop track. So I assume there's going to be a switch track coming up somewhere. There it is in front of us. So what's this going to do? Launches up a spike of some sort? Only a little one. Then we'll come pootling back down into the LSM to speed us up again. Another launch here as we come up round this bank. Down over a little airtime hill. Woohoo! And through into the station. So those are the new coasters that come with the new update of Planet Coaster 2. So it's update 7, which gives you a lot of the features that we've got here. And then the DLC for the actual new rides. Let me just take that off conforming onto automatic so that we can join that up there and that up there, and then if there are any people in the park they can actually use it. So what other new features have we got? We've looked at the new coasters, we've looked at the new flat rides. We don't have any new track rides in this. We don't have any new flumes or pools. We don't have new facilities. We've got the new shells, haven't we? Let's pop a couple of those in with some shops in. Let's have a look. Oh, if we got to... I thought we... Oh, they'll be under scenery. One moment. While we go to... Are they under blueprints for scenery? Yeah, and then we'll sort those by Sorcery Pack. There we go. So what have we got that can take a shop? Staff facilities, shop. Right, so let's turn that around. So that's a little shop there. We'll have a toilet. So let's pop in here. I don't believe we have any new actual shops or anything like that. Otherwise that wouldn't have blanked itself out. But I don't believe we do. No, these all look like we've had before, but let's pop a chief beef in there. There we go. So we've got a chief beef in there. And we're going to put a... Ooh, in this one, we're going to add a toilet. Just so that we can actually see these things actually being used. There we go. Let's use some path tools just to join that up there. Lovely job. And a path to join that up there. Awesome. Now we can open that. There we go. So we've got somewhere for them to eat, somewhere for them to wee. We will need a... I'm not even bothering with what it looks like. But we are going to need a staff room. There we go. Staff facility small. I'm going to ruin the design of the place by popping one of those in. But it's just easier for now because this is just a trial park. So that should be enough to keep people happy while they ride on our roller coasters. Let's pop our 2 new flat rides into this park as well. So let's pop our immersive cinema in with our entrance and our exit. Queue. Oh, one thing I do want to try is the new pointed corners. So let's try this. This should hopefully make it a lot easier for us to properly make cattle pens. So let's see if I do that. Now, what have we got on here? Connection square, lines type straight, yeah. Pointed square. Let's put angle snap on. There we go. So if we... There we are. Look at that. Now this is something that everybody gets in the new update, is the ability to actually make square-ended paths, which we've been asking for a long time, and Frontier have listened, and there we go. We can now make proper cattle pen paths. And it all looks very, very cool. So we can open that. The other flat ride we've got is this one, which we're going to put this way around so it doesn't hit into anything. We'll put an entrance on that side, an exit on that side. Very quick path. Oh, I am loving how easy this is to make. The good old cattle pen style paths. This makes me happy. And then we can put our exit on there. Make sure that's open. And there we go. We have a very simple little park. It's got 3 coasters and 2 rides. But, you know, that's better than nothing. 3 coasters, 2 rides. Everybody's happy. So we will have a quick POV on each of these coasters. We'll try and have a POV on the other 2 rides as well. By which time it's probably going to be about time for the ads. And then after the break, we will get into actually playing in the challenge mode and seeing how that works. So let's start off with this coaster, which I believe is open. Yeah, it is open. We've not got enough staff to operate it. Oh no, we have. Don't know why nobody's going on it. Right, so we're going to test it, because that means we get to ride it. So here we go. Hopefully. Come on. Are we going to go? Sometime this week will be good. There we go. We're off. So off we go, up this hill. It's taking us a while, but we'll get there. We're nearly at the top. Is it hands in the air time? Are we ready? Are we ready? Here we go. Over the top. And down we go. Lovely. Ooh, that'd make you sick, wouldn't it? Here we go, zooming round this way and round there. Up and over. Round this little bit. Over a couple of bumps. And then a gradual round back to where we set off from. So that's the coaster we made. We've done the other 2. So all we've got left to do now is to... might as well reopen that. It's pointless leaving it closed. Let's have a ride on this. So this shows us in one of the seats. We've just missed the end of a ride, so we might have to wait for some people to get on, maybe. Is anybody gonna come and get on? Anybody at all? It doesn't look like people. Oh, there are people in the queue. Slowly. Let's have a look. Hopefully these people will come and get on this ride any second now, and then we can have a ride on it. Come on, peoples. Where are you? Oh, there we go. There's people here now. So it can't be that long before we set off. So we'll stop looking around and we'll see where the ride takes us. Are we setting off? Come on, Planko. Just want to see the ride work. That's all I want. No. Is it going to work? Yeah. We'll try this one instead. Here we go. We can actually see what's going on with this one. So this is swinging us forwards. And is it turning us upside down as well? Oh no, it's just swinging us backwards and forwards at the moment. Ooh, that's a very odd motion that it does, this one, isn't it? Oh, and it does also turn us upside down. That would be a great way to see your lunch again, wouldn't it? My goodness. Cool. And let's have a quick look on this one now. It is actually running. There we go. We can see that if I do that, we can see that we're moving and we're seeing the film in front of us. I think it just leans us forwards and backwards, but we can see that in front of us. Now, if I was to put this in an actual park, I'd put it inside a building and things, and then we wouldn't get all the light bleed, but there we go. It does come with different, so I understand, different images. So we've got Cascading Cosmos, High Above the Highlands, Rise Over Ruins, and we're currently doing Winding Down Woodland. If you're on PC, you can add your own. So, and we've got different options that we can add into the sequence. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we're going to go from this sandbox park that we've been in now. We're going to go and try the new challenge mode, and we're going to see how enjoyable that is. So go and have a wander, stretch your legs, have a drink, do whatever it is you need, and I will see you in a few minutes. Hello there and welcome back. We are still in the world of Planet Coaster 2. As I said before, we're going to have a look at the new challenge mode. Now this comes with everybody who takes update 7. So this is a free update for everybody, the new challenge mode. So we're going to have a little bit of a play, see how it feels, see whether it is as fun as I'm hoping it is. Let's have a go. So, welcome to challenge mode. Put your skills to the test in challenge mode. Tackle a series of tricky objectives as you work towards a 5-star park rating and prove yourself as the ultimate park manager. Now we can either select a park or do a new park. Now we don't have a park, so we're going to have to do a new one. We can use either any of the biomes or we can use the templates from the career park. I quite like Coaster Chasm actually. Let's build this in Coaster Chasm. Now, because we've not played this before, I'm going to set it to easy. We're going to call it Streamland. There we go. So let's try Streamland. See what we're presented with when we first enter challenge mode. Okay, so we've got challenges up here in the corner. Take on challenges as you work towards a 5-star park rating. New challenges will appear after some time when available. So we've got some pools, some rides and some staff. So it wants us to build a pool with a minimum area of 125 metres squared with 1 changing room. It also wants us to build a coaster and open it. And it also wants us to hire a janitor. So most of those should be quite easy. I believe we can close that and then just open it again with that button there. Brilliant. Now I can never remember where the entrance is on this map, even though I love this map so much. I always forget where the entrance is. Where's the spawn point on this map? Oh, they come out of a tunnel, don't they, somewhere, if I remember rightly. Is it somewhere up here? No, I'm not doing very good at this, am I? Where is the park entrance? I'm quite sure it's not over this side. Unless it hasn't put any in for us. Maybe we've got to add our own park entrance. Which is fine if we do, I don't mind. Yeah, I think we must have to add our own park entrance, because there's definitely not one on this map. Okay, so let's start by building a park entrance. Let's do it up here, because this looks like it's our boundary. So, up here. Let's start off with, I'm going to actually have a go at building an entrance, and I'm going to use the new scenery pack. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to pause the game, because otherwise it's going to run away with me. Now let's start off with the actual park entrance gate. Which we're going to have. Ooh, can't build there. Where can I build then? Let's have a look. Ah, okay. So it's okay. So it's right back at the point where we've got to buy the different areas. That's okay. I'm not used to, I don't think it used to do that. I think that might be a change with the update. In which case, how do you put an entrance in? I'll tell you what, we're not going to use this map. What we're going to do is we're just going to use a standard biome, because then we've got a better idea as to what we're doing. So let's do a new park in the temperate biome. Got different challenges this time. We've got 100 guests in the park, park rating of 1, and to build a pool. So those must change each time. Right, again, I've paused it because I don't want that. Do I even want those? Yeah, they're fine for now. What I really want to do here is, to begin with, let's get our terraforming. Let's build a few hilly bits, so some larger hills. I'm not going to go mad, I just want to add a little bit of texture. I really want some sort of watery. In fact, if we turn the intensity up, that should just do it a lot quicker. There we go. So we can sink all that down. There we go. And then we should be able to just clear water, rough water. We'll go for natural water. There we go. We've got a lake. So that's all I'm doing for now. We might end up changing bits of terrain as we go, or we might just end up leaving it flat. Who knows? But we're going to start by building. Ooh, I didn't mean to open the workshop. One moment, please. While we leave the workshop, there we go. We are going to set our toggle. We want to only use the sorcery theme, because part of being here and doing this is to build using the sorcery theme. I want to try having a look at those red brick townhouse things. So let's have a look at the walls. What have we got as walls? That's a 2 meter half width. Is that, there we go. There's our 4 meter. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plan it out. Ooh, yep. What our building's going to look like. It doesn't need to be very deep, does it? Let's go for something like that. How's that look size-wise? That looks quite cool. Let's make it a bit taller. Ooh. Here we go with the upstairs part to it. And then we've only got a 4 meter gable length there. What have we got here? Let's go for a... There we go. So look at some roof pieces. What roof pieces have we got that come with this set? No, that's going to be too big. I don't want a keep roof, I want a townhouse roof. Here we go. Just a nice, simple... Is that the right angle? No, that one? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to pop that. There we go. So those on there. Turn it around the other way. And yes, I'm aware this is the simplest building in the world, but it's fine. It's just while we're playing with the new pieces. Okay, so we've got that. Now we've got some archways here somewhere. We've got some quite cool looking archways. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out 3 of those. And we're going to replace those with these cool brick arches, which we'll put at the other side as well. So what I was going for with this was like an old stable or coaching house or something like that. That was the impression I was wanting to give. So what we can also pop in here now is our little entrance gates, like that, and then we can use our paths like that. Ooh, let's join this one, which is going to come up to that line and then left, and then this one which is going to come up to the line and then right, and then at this side we're going to come to the line again. This one we're going to come to the line again. This time we're going to go straight from there to there and from there to there, giving us this sort of look, and then we will put one down there, one down there, and one down there. Okay, so that's our entrance connected, but it still looks pretty boring at the moment. So let's have a look back in our scenery options. What have we got in the way of doors? We could put a couple of doors in there. So look at our windows. What would we have in somewhere like this? Don't know if we'd have those. Definitely don't feel we'd have those. I think we might have those. So let's just put a series of those across there, and the same at the other side. We'll go for a series of just these single little windows going along. Yeah, the end would be a good place for one of those, but it doesn't want to sit in the middle. Let's turn off snap to position, because that means we can go exactly where we want to with that on that end. Put one on the other end. They're not real windows, so there's nothing to worry about. What have we got in the doors? Let's put some barn doors on the end there, just to give it a little bit more detail. Right, what other things have we got? We've got some wall decorations, plaster trim. What's that? What have we got here? It's another piece of trim. Statues and things, balconies and steps. No window decorations. Roof decorations. Oh, well, we can definitely put a chimney on it, can't we? Do we not have a chimney with a... Ah, now the chimneys are all... Okay, so we're not going to do one of those. Let's see what else we've got. We've got columns. No, we don't want any columns. Don't need a floor. Done walls. Decorations, we've got quite a few in there. Arches. What have we got at all? What else have we got that we can add to this to make it look a little bit more interesting? Have we got wall mounted lamps? Yes, we've got like these here. So if we put... There we go, that's what we want. One of those there and there. Just a little bit of lighting makes such a difference. We just add them to each side like that. 1 second. Oh, that's alright. It was already deleted. I saw a spam message, but it's alright. SiriBot got it. There we go. And we can do the same on this side, there, And there. 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 There and there. So it's starting to look a little bit like a little coaching house. What I would like actually when they come out of that is in the middle of here to have a stem of a lamppost. Let's zoom in a little bit. Top of a lamppost and a sign which then will have some writing on it which will say Spooksville. Let's do that. We might change the name of that. Don't know if we get any new fonts, or if we do, are any of them actually readable. I quite like that one. Don't think it's pirates are appropriate. No. Aladdin. No, I think we will go for that one. There we go. Now what we're needing is a few more props around here. So let's go back to the scenery thing. What have we got in here? Because we do desperately need some props. Everything's looking very bare at the moment. In fact, let's have a look at the little blueprints that they've got. They're all too big. Well, we could do something with rocks, couldn't we? Yeah, let's do that. Let's put some rocks in. Let's go to the rocks. Let's get rid of that. Because it won't take much for us just to add a few of those around with some crystals and things on them. I could even add some of varying sizes. Do we have random rotation on, random scale on? There we go. So now we can, ooh, we'll get rid of that one after. But we can stick a load of crystals around the place. Are we on random with those as well yet? So let's stick. Hello, Taylor, how are you? A load of crystals around that. And then some green ones. There we go. And it's a bit messy, but it'll do us. That's the entrance to the park. Let us increase this path now. I want it to be wider this time. So I'm going to get rid of that piece and that piece. I'm going to take this larger path and bring it out like that. There we go. We're going to go into our scenery. Yeah, I'm going to use the blueprints from this set. I would like to use some of the buildings. What have we got here? Yeah. Or shall we put... Tell you what. Let's make something that people can walk through. What have we got? I thought we had some... There we are, I thought we did. Now, how big can you go? Oh, you can go big enough. Excellent. So if we pop you there, does that actually hit the floor and everything? Yep. So you come through the ticket area, and you've got to go under the giant doom spider. Then once you've gone under the giant doom spider, you are actually in the park. We are going to pop just a couple of little flat rides off to the side. We're going to start with... I think we will start with one of our new flying theatres actually. But it's not just going to be a flying theatre, because we're going to hide this one in a building. In fact, no, we will do the queue after. Let's get rid of that. Let's build the building first. So, scenery. In fact, is there an option in here? Here we go, attach scenery. This is what I wanted, I think. Let's go for walls. What's the filter that's applied? Nope. Okay, so let's just start from scratch. Here we go. So we want it more or less in line there. Let's make sure that that's as in line as we can get. It is. Let's make sure that we are... There we go. Main purpose for this is just to hide this massive building. Sorry, to hide inside this massive building, we want to hide this massive ride, because this ride is huge. Now, we will have to delete a little bit later to put something in, but for now we'll just put a wall in there, that doorway even in there. That might change. How high is this going to have to be? Let's find the highest part of the ride. Is that going to be high enough? I think it is. But we are going to keep some interest to the building by making sure that not everything is the 3 high that it needs to be to hide the actual ride itself. Here we can probably get away with 2 tiles deep before we go up to 3. And we'll have some more walls to do in a moment. For example, this piece can actually now have pieces going across the front there. Ooh. And then these pieces again need to go to 3. Looking quite boring at the moment, but it will get better. Once we've got all the walls in, then we can start looking at how we're going to put roofs on. And once we've got roofs on, then we can start looking at how we are going to decorate it, and it should look really quite cool. On this side we've got a 2 high, and yes, it will fit, that's good. That's what I wanted to hear. There we go. So starting at the bottom up, we want to start looking at our roofs now. So let's look at our roof pieces. What have we got for corners? Could use one of those, couldn't we? And then, is that our corresponding piece? It is. There we go. That piece all along there. And then, how are we going to finish that bit? We probably need a corner piece again, would we? Let's have a look. Yes, we would. We'd need a corner piece again, and then some. Are this the right slope? No, that one. There we go. That one's too slopey. There we go. So that's one bit of roof constructed there. I want to do similar on this bit. Again, using these corner pieces. I want quite a low one, I think, on this one. Let's go for the low roof. There we are. That's that piece. And then we want the low slope here. There we go. Which will have that element to it. Back to another low and these ones. There we go. So that's our 2 unusual side roofs. Now this roof at the front is going to be a different style. This one's going to need the wall ends. It's going to need to be the townhouse one. And I want the 1 meter slope. Which will go there. And there. Then we need the 1 meter brick to fill in the gap. back onto our roofs for our 1 meter keep. Which will go all the way along that front, like. Ooh. Like so. And then the same again along this line here. Ooh. No idea where you ended up, how you ended up there, but you went in the right place. There we go. There we go. And now we need a roof on here. What sort of roof do we want? Let's just go for the... oh no, not the inverted one. The super pointy. Definitely want one of these on each corner. And then we need a couple of the inverted ones, which are these ones. Which is that one and that one. Then we want the 4 meter slopes, which we're going to put along these back edges, turn it round and do these edges here like this. We will put it along this front, like so. We will put it along like that, and like that. Then we're going to put these around. So we get along there. Rotate that piece like that. Rotate that piece like that. In there. Lovely. Into this bit. Ooh. There we go. Then I want to put flat roof somewhere. Where's my flat roof gone? Ah, it's a different category. I knew that. There we go. Because these can be used then to fill in all of these gaps. Like so. There we go. We want so that from down on the street, do we want those? No, we want the chimney elements, which are, there we are. So we want a couple of big chimneys. In fact, we want to go back to the chimneys, but we want to make sure that we turn off random rotation and scale, and then we'll select it again. So what we can do is we can put towards the back some of these larger ones. Now we've got some smaller ones which can go towards the front, so that from down here you get a nicer view of what's going on. Yeah, we want to carry on editing the building because this really needs some big windows. Let's look at windows. Now, on the ground floor we could have these shop style ones, could we? Or shall we just go for some? Yeah, let's go for some of these windows along here, like so. We do want to put a big barn door in there. And back to windows. These are great, but they're not quite big enough, so let's make them huge. And add right, why are you not? Let's go back to, I don't want to edit the flying theatre, I want to edit the building with building components. I want my windows, I want that big window, I want it the same size as the other one. I don't want it to attach to Flying Theatre 1, so we will put it there, and then we will go for an advanced smooth on it. So that means we can put it in the middle, just where we would like it. There we go. Okay, I might not be the best, but that's a building of sorts. Now we need to look at the paths. So this needs to only be a 4-meter path. We need to be inside. Right, so that's our exit here. So the exit wants to come out. At that sort of angle. Yeah, oh it did. Thank you for that. I will sort that out in a minute. Well spotted. That's because I forgot to click done. So let's try that again. Just put it back in the middle, down a bit. There we go. More into the middle. Not quite. Let's do that again. There we go. Right, what we want to do is get rid of that. Replace that with a barn door. Then we need to look at our queue, which needs to be inside here. There we go. And queue can come straight out like there, but it will need to make us a little bit of a cattle pen. And there we go. We also need to add in to this building. It needs a power distributor, and there is plenty of room inside the building so that nobody outside will know it's there. And then we can connect that up to our main gate, and then we can there we go. We can now open that ride, which when we actually hit play will allow people to go in and ride it. So on this side we want some shoppy things. So let's have a look back in that scenery tab, blueprints. Let's just add a few of these buildings down here, because what we can do is we can edit them. So this one can have the staff workshop in it. Let's just reduce that to a 2 meter. There we go, because then we can let's turn auto stacking off. There we go, that's what I wanted. I wanted that in there. So that then with the path we can just do that, because then the people will go inside it. Then this one is going to contain another one of those distributors. Let's have a look at the actual layout of the building. Yeah, we can pop a distributor in there. which again we can connect to our power grid. Then what we can do is edit this building. I'm actually going to remove that wall and that wall. We're going to go into our create custom. I'm going to go into buildings, buildings, walls. Now I believe this is townhouse, I think. Yeah, it's not that one, so it must be that one. We can sort the colour out in a moment, because what we'll do is we'll select that piece. And we've got that as our first colour. So we can go into this one now. And do that as our first colour. And then to that one, we want the second colour, which we're going to copy back to that one and paste our second colour and our second colour. Now we want to go to facilities, we want somewhere to eat, chief beef, sushi, hot dog. Let's go for hot dog squad. And then we want to drink, we will have So Delightful. Then we want to go into here, get rid of all our tags. We want to type hot dog in all of our things, because we want a hot dog squad sign there. And then we want a So Delightful up there. Back into our paths. Bring that one out there. And that one out to there. Now, one thing we do want to do is, if we've got, oh, come on mouse, there we go. If we've got this little bit of fence coming out here, let's edit the building. What's the duplicate? Control X is my advanced duplicate, so that then I can join that up to the next building. And same with this one. Control X lets me duplicate that bit across. And I want to do the same with, we'll put some bushes and foliage and stuff behind afterwards. So this one is going to contain our toilets. So we're going to click out of that, into this one, edit the building, facilities. We need some toilets, which need to be the right way around. Which we'll pop in there with our path coming out like so. And then we will look for a toilet sign. Which we will put on there. Cool. So far we have got a large indoor cinema ride. We've got a couple of shops. We've got staff room and toilets. Think that it's about time we got a coaster in. So we're going to create custom. What have we got? Have we got any of the new ones? I've got the LSM raid, and that's the one I wanted. So this is going to start off all the way over here. And it's going to start off with a launch. Taking us out of there. Now going up onto normal track. with a little bit of a loop going up here. Now we do need to make sure that we've got this testing so that we can see where it gets up to. Ooh. Are you going to test at any point? No? Oh well. So it's going to come round up to there. If I let it done. Why aren't you testing? Right. Let's go back again. Let's make it a longer station. Then we will go straight... Oh, we've run out of money. That'll be why. We'll build a coaster later. Coasters are expensive. Let's have a look at what our goals were. 100 guests in park, park rating of 1, and we need to build a pool. So let's build a pool. We can have a pool that comes around here, so that will be a lot less expensive. Let's build a... pool. Ooh, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. In fact, let's get rid of all that because I've built that wrong. So let's get rid of all that, because that's essentially a lazy river, and I didn't want a lazy river. I wanted an actual pool. Let's just go like that and get rid of all that. Right. Let's try that again. Pool. Create custom. Here's what I wanted. Nope, that's too expensive, so we'll try that again with a much smaller pool. So we will just behind here make a nice little, nothing too terrifying. There we go. There's our pool, which needs we'll give it a diving board, a lifeguard chair, ladders to get out. Then we will go to our path tool and we will extend this out like so. In fact, let's just do that. And let's just build on the side of that. Now we can draw within. Let's turn off the angle snap. There we go. Let's get that to there. We might miss a bit. Can always put it back in after. That one and that one. There we go. So that gives us our little plaza where we can look at our facilities. For now our change rooms are just going to be plain. At some point we might decorate it, but we don't have enough money yet. So we will just, for now, don't know how many of these we can afford. Some. There we go. So for now, just got to hope that we can fit information kiosky things, which are guest services counter. One there. So that's open. That's open. They're open. Are they open? Nope. Is that one open? Yep. Cool. So let's have a look and see where we get to as we actually unpause it. We didn't connect it via a path, you are absolutely correct. So let's just connect that to that. There we go. Now the guests can reach the pool. Do have some facilities I need to build. Let's have a look in our water facilities, because I do need a water filter and a water pump. Now the water pump can go pretty much anywhere, so I am going to add it to that building like that. And then the water filter I'm actually going to hide in the back of that building. Like so. And I'm going to put a water pipe from there to there, and there we go. So it's well hidden, people can't see it. We've got people wanting to go on rides. We're getting 47 people in our park. Let's have a look. So we've completed the building pools reward. Guests in park needs to go up to 100 and park rating needs to be up at 1. Which shouldn't be too difficult, but we are just going to let this run for a couple of minutes because those on Twitch are currently in an ad break, but they will be back very, very soon. But I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to pretty much call it quits there for the day. So we're going to wait for the ones from Twitch to get back. Then we will say goodbye to them and we will come back to this another day. We've made a start. We've started to meet some of the goals. What have we got here? That's fine. And we do need to hire a lifeguard. Let's do that before we forget. Oh no, we've got one. So we're okay. Is the ride running? Yep. Not many people on it yet. But we'll get there. Cool. So, where have we got to today? Let's have a look through. We've been through the pack. Yeah, that's good. What we've done is we've built a very basic entrance building to our park. I don't like these messy bits outside. They're going to have to change. Then we've chucked one of those in. Again, I'll probably rebuild that with something that I build myself at some point. I just wanted some sort of shoppy utility buildings, so they're in there. We've got a pool here, which was to meet one of our challenges. And here we've got our flying cinema, which so far is looking incredibly popular. Lots of people making good use of that. Do I need to decorate the sides of this building? I don't know yet. I will see what the sightlines are like further in the park. If it turns out that people can see that, then we'll put decorations on it. If it turns out that they can't, then we don't need to bother. So we've got the very, very bare bones of a very bare bones park. So far it's got one ride and a pool. But that is pretty much us for today. So, I don't know why my camera's decided not to work on there. Why are you not working, camera? Any ideas? No? Okay, we'll go back to this one. No idea. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope you've had as much fun as I have. Don't forget, tomorrow it's my birthday, so we've got the birthday stream, reading from the works of H.P. Lovecraft, starting at 10 AM tomorrow. Be wonderful to have you join me. But until then, I will leave you, and I will bid you all adieu. We will go and have a look now and see who we can find to raid. So let's have a look. Who's online that we know? Who've we got that we follow? Let's have a nosy. Anyone we know? Oh, we will go and raid Treat Your Geek. There's not many of you watching, but we're going to go and raid Treat Your Geek anyway. So, enjoy yourselves, and we will see you on the flip side. Ooh, and I can't spell, which is always helpful. There we go. So we will copy that. Cool, so we are off. Let's go and raid Treat Your Geek. Bye everyone.
Precious, I'm just about to raid out. I was going to come visit someone.